Hey everyone, and welcome back to Travels and Tranquility. I'm Lauren.
I'm Devin.
And we're here to quickly reflect on our experience on board Ovation of the Seas for our Alaskan cruise.
Yeah.
So first thing we wanted to talk about was just kind of the cruise conceptually. So like the cruise length and the specific ports that we went to. Mm-hmm. What do you think about the length and the ports that we went to?
Ports that we went to were great, with one exception. We'll get to that in a little bit, I think.
No, just say it now.
Oh, Victoria. So there is some sort of maritime law or agreement or whatever, some cruise thing that says that if you have to visit a foreign port when you're leaving.
When you start and end in the United States. Right.
So the part in Victoria, we got in at like 5 p.m. and
left by 9:30.
We left by 9:30. It was an afterthought for sure, and like every single person on the ship was saying that. It's like nobody was happy about it. And by the time we got to Victoria, a lot of stuff was closed. A lot of like attraction stuff was closed. So all we had was a couple of shops and like restaurants and stuff, which was a bit of a bummer.
Yeah, definitely. We wish we had more time at Victoria. We loved what we experienced in Victoria. We just wish we had more time to experience all of that and more, for sure. I will say, the other ports I absolutely loved. I think so. We visited Sitka, Skagway, Juneau, and then Victoria, and then we had 2 days at sea. I will also say the cruise length I thought was great. 7 nights I think is really good for Alaska. You get a lot of variety in where you get to go, which is really cool. I will say I think we were both really surprised by how kind of towards the end we really were done with our vacation. We were ready to go.
It felt good enough.
It felt like a satisfying amount of time, which is nice to say after a vacation, right? That you feel good about the amount of time that you had, but you're ready to go back home. So that was nice. Another thing that we wanted to talk about, again, kind of in the broader sense, is the ship itself. So we sailed on Ovation of the Seas, which I think is a pretty common ship for Alaska. I think that and like Quantum of the Seas is also really popular. And I will say for an Alaskan kind of more cold weather cruise, I think Ovation of the Seas is great.
Yeah, the ship has a lot of amenities that were built for colder climates, and they're
a lot of indoor spaces.
They're using it perfectly.
Yeah, it was lovely. The solarium's really pretty. I loved 270. I mean, you probably by this point have seen our top 5 favorites on board Ovation of the Seas. So
it was great.
It was a great ship for the cold weather. Absolutely. And then we also wanted to touch on some of the restaurants that were on board. So with this cruise, we made it a point to experience more of the...
as much as possible.
Dining that's available through the ship. So we dined at pretty much all of the add-on places that you could go to. So we went to Jamie's, Chops, Azumi's, and we also went to Amber and Oak, which is the little pub that's on the Esplanade.
Yeah. And so my turn to talk about what I liked.
Sure.
So I didn't like Amber and Oak. The food was just not...
We've weird. Touched on a little bit of this in our thing,
Chops was amazing. Jamie's was, I think, our favorite.
Yeah.
For sure, because we ended up actually booking a second night while we were there, which worked out great. And then Izumi's was just kind of, we talk about that in the video as well, as far as our reasons why, but I wouldn't go back to Izumi's, honestly.
No. But it was really nice getting to experience all of them. That was fun. I do think Alaska is a decent cruise to experience all of those dining things, because you typically are back on board by dinner time.
Right. And you have more days of the trip to do
to actually like fit those reservations into your schedule. Yeah, but I agree completely. I would visit Jamie's again 100%. I'd do Chops again. We really liked the experience of Chops. But Azumi's and the pub definitely just aren't for us. I think what we want to do is playmakers, which I think on a lot of ships kind of takes the place of like the pub. Sort of like sports bar thing.
It's an American sports bar.
So we're excited to try playmakers hopefully one day soon.
Yeah. Next ship, I think, honestly.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's there.
Symphony.
Hopefully we'll get a chance to try it on maybe one of the sea days. Another thing we wanted to talk about with Ovation of the Seas were the shows and like things that you were able to do during our Alaska cruise. I'll just say I was kind of disappointed by the amount of shows that were done. There was one night where there were no production shows. It was just 2 movies that they played in the theater.
Yeah.
That was the day we were in Juneau. I get Juneau was a longer port day, but it still was kind of disappointing.
Because there was a lot of people back on the ship by the time.
Yeah. By like 8 o'clock. The show
would have started.
Yeah.
And just have a late show that night, you know?
Right. It was kind of disappointing. And then obviously you saw our vlogs. We were very disappointed by the comedian.
Yeah.
What did you think otherwise of like the shows and then things to do?
I mean, I thought it was odd that they didn't have a show that night in Juneau, but I thought the variety was actually pretty good because they have so many different venues there. There's 270 and they have they have like live piano bar. They have a live piano bar every night at Schooners. There was a ton of variety of stuff that you could do. I mean, because they did have, if the comedian stuff was for you, that was there. They had the live laugh legs or whatever that was.
Live love legs.
Live love legs. And then they had one really great comedian there too. So
yeah, the jungler, the comedy kind of.
I felt okay with it, even though the one comedian was not our speed, and the second time we went to go see what was the Spectra's cabaret, the system malfunctioned and they couldn't do it. So
yeah, or maybe they got it up 20 minutes or something because we left after like waiting 15 minutes.
Yeah,
who knows? Yeah, overall not too shabby. And then so excursions. I think coming off of Adventure, we weren't too happy with the excursion that we had booked in Cozumel. We had fun and everything, but it ended up not being like what we wanted it to be.
Right, because it wasn't what it was advertised to be. Well, it wasn't 100% what it was advertised to be. And then we got eaten by bugs, and it was way longer than the thing said it was going to be.
Yes. But the 3 that we did in Alaska that you've seen, we absolutely loved.
Oh, it was amazing.
We loved the Zodiac tour with the Finn Lodge, and we loved the Mushers Camp in Skagway.
Yeah.
And I think we came off of Alaska saying, boy, I wish we had booked more excursions.
Yeah.
We wish we had done more, like the train in Skagway, something in Juneau, or at least had maybe researched more about the ports.
Right. And because we've seen...
Specifically Juneau.
We've seen, Juneau for sure. We've seen videos of the train in Skagway, and it looks like it would have been absolutely stunning.
Yeah. We loved what we did in Skagway, but it would have been cool.
Yeah.
We probably would have had time to do one of the shorter train ones too that day, but we just didn't know. For us, the shopping aspect isn't a huge important thing.
We don't care about the jewelry, which is... There's an odd focus on like buying high-end jewelry on cruises, which has always baffled us.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that just wasn't our priority. So there wasn't as many things as we had hoped in the downtown areas. And so that's why it's kind of nice to do excursions, because you can kind of get out of that small little town and see like more of Alaska. And we wish we had done that for Juneau, so that we could have gone to the glacier park.
You're in Alaska. The wildlife is the draw there, not the shopping and stuff.
Agreed, 100%.
For us, anyway. The only thing that I would say would be cooler with the Finn Lodge one is that we were only there. We got pushed out because they were running behind. There were some weird things with the Finn Lodge, and we were only there for like 40 minutes instead of the hour that we were supposed to be. Yeah, which was a bit of a bummer.
Agreed. And then I'll say in Victoria, I think we did a decent job researching the port and like making a plan for ourselves. There was one aspect of it that we kind of like goofed up that we didn't get to do. We rushed a little bit because we were stressed for time. But I think that went well. So I think if we had done more research in Juneau or had booked an excursion, we probably would have been happier. But lessons learned, right? And we came off of this cruise saying we want to go back. So we definitely want to plan for another Alaskan cruise, hopefully someday soon. And we can see why people go back to Alaska, for sure. Why they repeat this kind of cruise.
Far and away my favorite cruise we've done so far.
Yeah, it was amazing. So let us know what you think in the comments down below. Give us a thumbs up if you liked it, and hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Stay tuned. There might be a couple more videos in Alaska. I can't remember the order off the top of my head.
Long group of videos.
There were a lot of videos in Alaska. So this is either at the end or there's still more to come. And then we have Symphony of the Seas coming up really soon too, by the time you're seeing this video. So definitely stay tuned to our channel for all of the great cruise content to come.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Catch you guys in our next video. Bye.